What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today is the very first episode of the podcast. I promised you guys last year. It didn't happen because, well, I said it was gonna happen in January, so you had to wait. Anyway, here we are with 1 out of 4 right now, because at the time of the recording we have 4 people who want to be on the podcast. And now here's the thing: if you want to be on the podcast yourself after listening to this, make sure to either comment down below, send me an email, that will be in the description, and just let me know you want to be on it, and let's see if we can get some more people on the podcast. With this first podcast, we have a special guest, and his name is Bizzare Cad. He's a streamer on Twitch, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, I am Bizzare Cad. I have been playing RuneScape for the past 16 years now. And I am a variety streamer on Twitch, albeit most of what I've done recently is RuneScape, just because I've been working on a few goals for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go. So, we're a very, I would say, experienced player here, because we know that there's people who play like 2 years ago, that happens. So it's very nice to have you here, Bizzare Cad.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
So yeah, how this is gonna look for you guys at home, it's a podcast. So you guys we're testing some stuff out. You'll be like watching someone walk about. Go do your own thing in RuneScape. Do what you want. Drive home, but drive safe. And just listen. It's gonna be 1 hour-ish, just us talking about RuneScape. Yeah, and a little trivia at the end. Okay, guys. So yeah, the first thing that we are going to talk about is going to be like the updates that have happened lately and are about to happen. So, with the first update that literally just happened, the new quest, have you even done the quest already?
I have, actually. I despise questing, and I still have 5 quests for my quest cape. But, for whatever reason, I decided to speedrun that quest just to get it done and try the new boss. And as someone who has very limited gear because of a experience that we'll talk about later in the podcast, I am running this thing with like Elite Void and basically the highest of the low tier stuff that a player can afford. And yeah, it's not a fun experience if you don't have max set. Let me just say.
So you've been doing the boss already yourself?
Oh. In 20 trips to the boss, I have 2 kills.
Oh yeah, you can really see that. Yeah, you can really see that gear is gonna be a problem at some point. Yeah, I myself haven't done it yet. It's it's because there was an evening right before I went to work. I was like, okay, let's see if I need any requirements, and I need to do like 5 more quests. And as you, I hate questing, so I haven't done it yet. But I've been watching. I've been watching the boss from some other streamers, and it seems like a real fun fight, but yeah.
It's definitely fun. It's just a nightmare DPS-wise if you don't have enough DPS.
Yeah, I feel that. So how do you feel about that? Like, it seems to me a bit like it's still yet another boss that has to be done with some, not real end game gear, but a twisted bow would make it very easy, right? How do you feel about that?
So, what I've personally been saying since the boss's release is, unfortunately, it just seems like a money farm for anyone who already has more than 600 mil GP. But if you have any less than like 200 mil, like if you can't afford a Bofa and set, if you're just doing it with the best gear you can do without going into the high mid-tier gear, it's honestly you're gonna have so much problems dealing with the last 90 HP of the boss, simply because of how many spikes it spawns, and the amount of times it'll trap you within spikes, and then spawn spikes under you, double stacking you over the spikes as you're trying to focus on everything else. It's a bit of a headache. It's a fun boss, don't get me wrong, but it is definitely a big challenge if you don't have high tier gear.
Yeah, I do understand that. I'm yet to try, so maybe in the future, for you guys at home, I will talk about it more in depth from my point of view. But this is the point of view of Bizzare Cad. And I do kind of agree, because I did read stuff about it on Reddit and the Facebook page, and some people in the game. it's just very difficult if you don't really like just get Tebow, right? Yeah, just get a Tebow. Yeah, you know, so it's not simple as like that. So yeah, the next thing is the update from the wilderness that is yet to come. So we've had the previous update that happened, and there will be a wilderness update, of course. How that's gonna look, I don't really know. There's gonna be a cave, and there's gonna be bosses in there, and that's what it's gonna be like. Have you done? Do you do stuff in the wilderness, or are you like, no, that's a no-go zone for me?
Honestly, I to a large extent try to limit my time in the wilderness. Like I'll go do KBD once in a while. Maybe I'll do some Eternal Glory charging, or attempting to, which is actually part of why I'm working on the Elite Wilderness Diaries right now. But in my opinion, just based off reading what they had a while back, it sounds like the new wilderness boss rework is going to be yet another GP farm for the Venezuelans. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that the Venezuelans have a way to earn real money through RuneScape, because they need something to survive. But I don't like the idea that people aren't going to be able to even attempt the new bosses simply because clan fucking... what's the word I'm looking for? Clan protected worlds, and then other worlds that are just being camped by PKers. So.
Yeah.
I really hope that if they do release the bosses in the way that they're saying, that at least they'll keep the original bosses out in the normal wilderness, maybe just with like a reduced drop table, and have the cave bosses be the main moneymaker, just so that other people still have a chance at getting those same things, maybe just with like reduced chances.
That is quite a nice idea, I would say. Yeah, it is quite nice. Yeah, they've done a lot to the wilderness, I personally think, and some are like, yeah, better than other things. Like, I personally dislike what they've done to the ref caves, but it was needed, right? Because people were camping. It would be clan protected worlds where you have to pay millions and millions, you know, and it's it's in one room. So yeah, that is kind of that's just no. I understand. Yeah. So. Let's talk about the dragon pickaxe now. So, how do you feel about the fact that the dragon pickaxe is now not only obtainable by wilderness activities, but also soon to be in the volcanic mine?
Honestly, to me, what that sounds like is another bot farm. It sounds like it'd be a good idea if Jagex cleared out all the bots. And it'd be amazing for Iron Man players, but just releasing it on its own, to me, sounds like we're just going to get a monstrous bot farm going that's just going to make them another freaking $200,000 at least in day one.
Yeah,
each one's like 8 mil, so...
Yeah, that's true, but it will go down, of course. But I watched a video of Sir Pugger today, showing that there's actually a bot farm going at Nex. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. My gosh.
That's crazy. Like, there's literally 6 bots walking in a room, getting items from Nex, and they're all like under level 100, 100 sometimes. But
yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous. Yeah, like it's nearly embarrassing how long they can stay there. I gotta say, I'm sorry if anyone listens from Jagex, but please do something about that, because these bots have had 500 KC and have not been spotted. And on the Daily Note, I read people on the Facebook page like, oh well, I got banned after a week of botting. Yeah, that's how it should be. You know?
Yeah.
You should be caught and it should be done, because they're doing a good job on most things, right? But yeah, botting, it's just a thing. Like, I think they know of most of the stuff, but I think they don't have the people for it, if that makes sense. Like, you need so many people, because there's so many accounts being created. Talking about accounts, they're progressing as well. The more secure account systems So, like, you get a whole RuneScape ID right now that you have to log in. You've read that, yeah?
For that.
So am
Yeah,
I.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So it's just gonna make sure that bots are not bots. Whoa, why am I still talking about bots? Hackers are gonna have even more tough time going through a two-step authenticator, a bank pin, and a real ID. Well, it's not a real ID, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And actually, if I remember correctly from the Winter Summit, one of the reasons that they are doing it is to improve the bot detecting security. Because by linking all of the accounts to an account, or like add an IP address or whatever, it makes detecting the bots a bit easier, and B, it makes banning them like 10 times easier. Because if you can just ban the Jagex account, then it'll ban everything that goes with it.
Yep, exactly, yeah. So, yeah, there's just a second problem, and that's going to be like the VPNs, and that's going to be very difficult to actually like persuade that. But you know, there's not enough information about that.
Very true.
Now, there's the next thing I want to talk to you about, and that's actually a question to you. What would you see, like, in an update? It can be anything. What would you like to see?
Okay, so my update idea is actually one that I've been thinking about for a little bit, and it makes a little bit of use of what people have been calling the artisan skill, but I kind of ended up recreating a little bit to, I think, better suit RuneScape as a whole. Now my skill idea is called compounding. And basically what it does is it allows you to, through tasks similar to Slayer, you'd get a task that would give you some sort of thing that you had to compound and give to the NPC, so you'd lose whatever it was that you gave them, but it would give you experience in the compounding skill, based on how many items, and if you got it from beginning, like you went and mined everything, you smithed it, and then or smelted it and then smithed it, or however you did it, it would give you XP based on the amount of actions up to a limited amount for whatever you were doing.
That sounds interesting.
And what it would do is it would allow Herbalore, you would be able to combine potions such as a super combat and a ranging potion. You'd be able to make it a 3-dose max, but it would give you the effects of both potions, saving you an inventory space, allowing for different inventory management.
Weighing your strategy.
Yeah, food compounding. It would basically take all of the fish foods, and you'd be able to compound them within each other up to 3 tiers lower. So if you let me open up the cooking skill really quick just to get a better view of this.
Yeah, that's all good.
So say you were to compound, what's a good one to go with? A shark. You can compound it with a monkfish, a swordfish, or a bass. Instead of it being a 20 heal, it would now be a, I'll say 22, 25, and 30 heal respectively.
Okay.
The biggest core feature of compounding is that any items that have been compounded are untradeable. This would make it so that the compounding skill in and of itself is a self-rewarding buff system that also provides an item sync for all of the gathering and production skills, allowing for skillers to be able to do the content they enjoy to provide to the game better and earn for that, giving PVMers better food for doing harder content in the future, so Jagex can release harder hitting monsters, harder to do mechanics, different stuff like that, and PvPers even to be able to anti-stack rushers and just make PvP as a whole more intense, more like a lot of stuff going on. There would also be ammunition and weapon compounding that would give higher max hits without giving extra accuracy. I'll get into that in a minute. And then there'd also be armor compounding that would give higher defensive bonuses in order to combat the higher strength bonuses of the weapons, making it for a little more RNG, but balancing the RNG out by giving the higher max hits to the weapons.
Mm-hmm. That sounds really good. This is actually one of the better ideas I've heard.
Thank you. Yeah, I came up with it in like 5 minutes and worked on it in like 3 days, and it got to eventually this point. But yeah. Oh, and minor point. Making the compounding stuff, because it wouldn't earn you compounding experience, doing the compounds would give you experience to whatever skill the compounding subset was. So if you were like compounding fish for higher healing foods, you'd get cooking experience. If you were combining potions, you get herblore experience. If you were doing, say you were making compounded bolts, you'd get fletching and smithing experience for smithing the barbs and then fletching them onto the bolts.
So I have one question then for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you have like the compounding skill, yeah? You have like, let's say, level 85, which is basically what you should have for like rune, right? When you're smithing.
Yep.
I would say, and it's completely your idea, that you would like need the smithing level as well before you can do that.
Yep. There'd be a baseline smithing level of whatever it would require to smith the base items themselves.
Yeah, because it forces people. It gets people the idea of, okay, I need to level this to do it.
Exactly, and because it would reward a bit of experience, it would help with that leveling a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That is well thought. Yeah, well done. But you had like a minus point. I thought you would, or not?
Yes, I had a minus point, but it wasn't full. It wasn't for compounding actually.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I haven't been able to find any good negative points. If you happen to think of one, please let me know.
No,
because I'll try to find a way to work around that.
So the problem that I think with it, like that's the only problem, is that Jagex, of course, that's what they said in the summit as well. They want to keep it as old school as possible. But I don't think it does change a lot. I think it's nice to have create a different meta. That's the correct word for, like, let's say raiding and PvP. Maybe it will do something to PvP. Yeah, it's a good idea.
And that's actually where I got the main ideas. Is what's the other skill? Artisan. What people have been coming up with for Artisan. It sounds like they're trying to add a lot of new things, like things that would definitely benefit the game, don't get me wrong, but it'd be adding to RuneScape. What I tried to do with compounding was, I was watching the Winter Summit, and when they were trying to figure out the new skill, they wanted something that would benefit all players, something that wouldn't be changing the game but would be making it better, and something that would be good for the longevity of the game. And
you're
so I was trying to
creating
think of
something.
Exactly. I was trying to think of something that how could we bring what's already in RuneScape together, reuse existing things that don't have to be added or developed, and how can we allow RuneScape to grow farther as a game and bring harder and better content that all the endgame players are wanting, and that all the mid-game people that are like already starting to get into Chambers and TOA and maybe even Tombs of Theater of Blood, who are already starting to get bored of those things because they are what they are. Like, everyone kind of knows the basics if they've done it. I only somewhat know it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, everyone's starting to get a little bored of TOA already. So how can we make it so that Jagex is allowed to alleviate their limitations on what they can develop?
Yeah.
And
so by giving this combo food,
by giving higher healing foods so that it makes things a little bit easier, but you have to earn it yourself, but allowing Jagex to release harder hitting and harder mechanically challenging monsters, and also the higher DPS weapons in order to combat the higher HP that those bosses might be able to have.
Yeah.
And again, like the compounding stuff for saving inventory space, giving more options for inventory management, again, allowing for the higher end content to be harder. So I was really trying to find something that would make use of everything within the game to the best extent that I could, while giving Jagex more freedom for creating harder and more fun content.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. Well thought. I don't have any more minus points except what I literally just said. Like maybe people are a bit scared of changes. That's how it is. And we can't make everyone happy. That's also how it is. But you know, if RuneScape is to survive, which it does, like for the people at home, please don't think I think RuneScape is dying, because it's not. It still reaches over 100k players every day.
Game is going strong.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to die, but I think to keep the interest in people and maybe get even more people into the game, they should do something. And they will. They've said it. We voted. As a majority, we've had the biggest poll as well. We voted for yes. So it's gonna be there. And whatever it's going to be, we don't know. Jagex does. We just get our
Actually,
speculations.
they don't yet.
Nope. Okay, yeah. No, you're right. But I more mean like, we won't know before they do. And they will be the ones to know it beforehand, months in advance. Like,
only kind of though, because they aren't gonna develop anything until they have confirmation from us.
Oh yeah, of course.
And they're also going to predominantly be working on suggestions that the community give them, not that they come up with.
Yep. Yeah.
So
okay. I missed that one. I missed that
memo.
We'll
have a little more info.
I mean, the community on its own does have a big say in RuneScape. That's just the truth, and I think I really like that about this game. Like,
yeah,
I play
100%.
World of Warcraft. I play that's the one MMO that I play, and there's a few other games, Age of Empires and all those games, but they don't really ask the community what they want. They just implement it. They throw it in. Jagex thinks of something, but they take a step back and they'll be like, "Hey guys, do you think this is all right?" You know.
Well, to be fair, they learned from the evolution of combat.
They did learn from it, yeah, and that's why I don't understand why. Like, of course, old school RuneScape does have elements from RuneScape because, you know, hey, it's RuneScape. Guess what? You know.
Yep.
But it's becoming its own game, and that's what I like about it. It has its own standalone dev team, and it's doing their own thing. Of course, there will be elements that's like, okay, it looks like RuneScape 3 for some things, but RuneScape 3 looks like RuneScape. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
So, of course, they have to make some sort of crossover, because we're not enemies. You know, we all play the same game. We play and love the same franchise. Some love it more than others. Some are sucked in and they can't get out anymore. They have to finish the grind. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, because you know the saying, you never quit. You just take breaks. You just take breaks.
Take long breaks.
Yeah. With that, let's continue on something that's about you. Like, what do you?
I have one thing that I wanted to say. There was just no good time for me to.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So updates wise, because we were talking about that earlier. So the most recent polling thing, or update, I should say, that they're going to be polling soon, is I have one big negative about it. I read through all of it. It all seems amazing, but the one big negative I see is they want to increase the thieving pouch upgrades.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not that they want to increase the pouch upgrades. It's how much they want to increase the pouch upgrades by. Because if I go down here, they're saying that for Elite, they want to put 140 pouches before you have to undo it. And I just think that for bots, that's a huge problem. So I just want to take a second to say, just in case any Jagex moderators happen to see this, I do think that increasing pouch capacity is a good idea. However, I think that it should be a little bit nerfed in what they have right now. I think that medium looks good at 100% increase. I think hard could be decreased to 175%, changing it from 84 to 77 pouches. And I really think that Elite should be nerfed from 400% to 250%, going from 140 max pouches to 98.
Yep.
Still a lot, but I think 140 is ridiculous. No real player is going to end up clicking for that long before they loot their thing. And I just think that 98 is a good amount. You're still going to be clicking for a long time before you have to do that. But at least bots aren't just going to Oblivion spam everything. So I think that should be a little bit nerfed.
Yeah, as I do agree with you, I think that like the main problem and hopefully that will be sorted for the most part with the new security system.
True.
I hope, like, I think the priority will be bots, you know, like but they will always exist, right? But
yeah.
I think like they have a team that will look at bots, right? But I think they need to expand that team. There's many people who would gladly go on a little hunt and find bots.
Literally.
Right?
Yeah.
People because people love this game, so they want to protect it, and that's the thing. Maybe even like send a notification to people when they've reported someone, like, hey, this person has been banned. Thank you for this, or thank you for, you know.
Yeah, right.
Like you can automate that very easily, you know. So maybe
think
do
the
that, and
biggest
then people are
problem
gonna help.
Yeah, because personally, I think the biggest problem about bots right now is it feels like the bot reporting system does nothing.
Even though it does, but
like,
you will never know.
Exactly. Well, like, I've literally reported like 50 bots at Rune Ore specifically, because that's where I go to make my bonds. I'm a real player. I need a decent moneymaker that I can do somewhat AFK. Maybe I don't have a lot of time to play.
Yep.
And so, like, I'll go to Rune Ore because it's one of the best moneymakers for real people. But literally, you go to the Sahara area, and there's so many bots there. It's like every 6 worlds you might find a good set.
Like I said, they're also doing next now. They're doing next, and there's real players who can't even do next, and there's bots running it.
Yeah, literally.
So and like, okay, if you have a small bot that doesn't really do a lot, that you can't really find, fine. Who cares if you find one shark fishing bot? Fine, but
yeah,
bots that are at next are literally making billions because they're literally running for hours, right? I'm not saying that endgame content is more important than the not endgame content. I'm just saying that there's also, like, the Rune Ores is pretty big moneymaker. They should pay attention. You should be looking at that, and that's why I think they should. And that's an update I would do. Let people know that your report has happened. You know, that we
literally
get the feeling like, okay, what we've done is actually something. You don't have to say a name. You don't have to call those guys by name.
Maybe like an ETA on when it might be dealt with. Like, even if it says, like, okay, we'll maybe be able to get to this spot in, I don't know, 4 days.
Yep.
Then at least we know, like, something will happen. It just might take a bit of time.
Yep.
But at least we have something to look forward to. Instead of just, okay, thanks, your report's been submitted.
Yeah, and then what? Yeah. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to discuss on this matter?
I will just say that I do understand that Jagex gets so many reports that having a system like that would be damn near impossible to accurately and adequately like denounce an amount of days. But
at the start,
I think that if they try to find a way that they can, to a certain extent, automate the bot reporting process instead of having to have a person look into each account. Like, if there's plugins on RuneScape that literally will tell you if something's a bot, like, if they implement something like that to the reporting system, where they just have it go, okay, this person got reported as being a bot, look up the account. If it has a higher than 98% chance of being a bot, it just automatically bans it. Otherwise, if it has higher than a 70% chance, then it gets sent to a person. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of things they could do, but I get that they're working on a lot of stuff, so I don't blame them for not getting to it.
No,
but I also feel like it's been a long time and something should be done.
Yeah, I do want to point out that whatever we say here, we're not pointing fingers in any way.
No, of course. I
just want to say that make sure that, like, this is not like a roast Jagex thing. Like,
no, not at all.
We're just giving our thoughts. You know, that's all.
Yep.
And you know, if there's people
I have respect for Jagex.
Yeah,
these guys work fucking hard on this game.
Oh, they do really. Yeah, so there's one last thing that I've read on Twitter, actually. Like, Mod Ash responded to it. I need to what's the thing? Yeah, there's a master clue step, right? You need to You need to walk a long time. Let me find on the map where exactly this is. For the podcast listeners on the YouTube or Twitter, you will not be able to see this, especially Twitter. Why am I saying Twitter? Spotify, because that's where we're going as well. Especially Spotify won't be able to see it. But there's a master clue step that is near like the ice place with the trolls. You know that place, like at the troll area. There's one very icy place that you need to cross for clue.
Are you talking about the sledding area?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's that area. Yeah. People ask for a agility shortcut. They send a message, like Mod Ash responded to it, like what will be your preferred level for that specific shortcut for the agility. I personally said 93, because I think if it's a master clue step, it should have a requirement that's over level 90 for that, if you want to take advantage of it, because you don't need it, right? You don't need it.
Check the agility really quick, because that's a good point. I want to see... personally, and I guess I'm a bit biased because I'm not even level 80 yet, but...
I'm 77, mate. I need to get like a lot of
yeah, I'm 79. Let's see. Oh, that was Herblor's. Okay, let's see. Shortcuts. Where would this fit?
You can even put it... You can even make it the new, like, furthest than 94 or 95. But 93 just seems nice. 92 maybe, because there's none there. But if they want to do something like that, it has to be over 90 in my opinion, because it's gonna benefit you.
You know what I think? I think it'd fit perfectly at 90. I'm just looking at the skill thing right now, and 90 just feels like a nice even level. You're still a really high level, but it's not...
90 or above, so that works.
Yeah, and like, there's nothing at 90 at the moment, so it'd just fill this nice little gap and give you a nice shortcut or hitting that 90 milestone before you begin the grind to 99.
Yeah, and like you don't specifically need the shortcut. Like you can go around. Yeah, you have to walk a little bit further,
exactly.
So it's gonna benefit you. You don't need level 90 to do it, but it's gonna be nice. So maybe you're gonna do it for in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. That's all about the updates, I think, for now.
Sounds good.
Oh, yes.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's all good. So yeah, what is something that you like really enjoy doing in the game? Like, you can be thinking about like kicking a cow maybe, or just doing some bosses. What's your favorite thing to do?
So my favorite thing right now is Tombs of a Mascot.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get into it day 2 with like Elite Void and just some pretty basic gear, but I had a lot of fun doing it. This is what I explained to everyone who hasn't done it yet. It's 70% puzzle, 25% bossing, and 5% you gotta pay attention.
Yep, I agree.
It's really easy, and it's a lot of fun, has a good potential to make some money, but like because of how customizable it is, it's a super, super good beginner raid to get into. And it'll actually maybe even make you more willing to want to learn Chambers of Xeric and Theater of Blood if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I always say about TOA is that it's easy to learn, but it's hard to master, because the more invocations you put in, the harder it's gonna get, and the more attention you do have to give. But to start off, it's really easy. I've done a YouTube video about it. I did 2.2 mil cash stack. That's what I used, and
crazy!
It was only a 150, but I had to do it without a blowpipe. And without a blowpipe, it really sucks, because you're gonna need it.
I don't even run blowpipe.
What do you run then?
Okay, so this is my minimum personal setup. Elite Void. Dragon crossbow you can swap for a rune crossbow. It's just nicer having the dragon bolts, because they'll one-shot the boulders.
Yep.
Trident. You definitely want to at least have a dragon defender. You can run in there with Varix if you really want, but I personally bring Elite Void. And just whatever best stab weapon you can bring, really.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you need.
Yeah,
it's actually a lot easier than it seems.
Yeah, so I ran it like PK mode basically. I didn't use Void because I have normal Void because I can't be bothered to go for the chompy bullets really. That's the only thing I need to do. Then I can get Elite Void. I even have the points already. But
hey, go for the pet, man. Don't even go for the Elite Void. Go for the pet.
yeah, literally. So I ran it with full Mystics with a basic Trident. Black D'hide with a rune crossbow. Actually got a PB on the buck with it with 2-minute kill.
Nice.
And full Thorax with a Dragon Sim. So I didn't go for the stab. That was a mistake of mine, to be fair. But well, I used the Karis. Like that's a free weapon you get.
Yeah,
so
of course. That thing's broken.
Yeah, it's really broken. Yeah. So what do you think are like the nice things about TOA, and what do you think is like less on it? Like why would you, let's say you're gonna do TOA, but what would discourage you to do it? You know, so what's nice and what's not.
Okay. So I'm actually gonna start this by saying it took me 47 tries to beat Sins of the Father.
Oh yeah.
Just the final boss.
Oh.
I started that grind at like base level 76s, and I think I ended it at having like 82s, something like that. That's when I was finally able to beat it. So having done the lightning of that boss so many times made the lightning phase of Tombs of Amascut a lot easier. But the easiest part of Tombs of Amascut...
lightning phase? You mean the one from...
Warden's Part 4.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So, the easiest part of Tombs of Amascut would definitely be the puzzle rooms. They are easy to complete. There's
a plugin.
Yeah, there's a plugin. I actually can't get the plugin to work, but...
Really? Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know why, but the memory puzzle is honestly pretty easy to me because I'm not great at memory, but for a short-term memory, I have a pretty good memory. So even when other people have the plugin, it makes it easier because I just have my rows memorized, and then I'm just like, okay, this one.
Yep.
But like, I should actually make a guide on this because I've taught a number of people to do Tombs of Amascut, and I actually challenged myself to learn to solo Tombs of Amascut 150s, like, third day in, just because I was a little bit bored of doing teams, and I wanted to be able to do it alone because I didn't have great gear. But yeah, so Kefri's puzzle room is ridiculously easy. If you're doing the pillars, wield the Karis Partisan. The reason I say this is, yes, the blowpipe is fast, but you're wasting GP every shot you every time you make a mistake. And with the Karis, you can literally get about 4 to 5 of the pillars in one cycle of the rocks falling. So you can easily figure out 1, maybe even 2 or 3 of the orders that it'll be in within one set of rocks falling. So it actually speeds up that quite a bit.
Oh, that's good. I did not know that.
Pardon?
I did not know that. It was a very good tip.
Yeah. A lot of people like rag on me for it, but it's like, dude, I'm just bap, 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 bap. Okay, nope, not that. Reset, bap, bap, bap. Nope, not that. Okay, bap, bap, bap.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You just gotta try it, and then you can comment about it.
Exactly. I'd say the second easiest part, believe it or not, is actually the Baba puzzle room.
Oh, I think it's pretty easy. I even like that one. It's fun.
What I'll say about that is the easiest way to do it is equip all of your ranged armor set and start off with your mage helmet, and either helmet or necklace, depends on if you're using void or not. If you're not using void, do the necklace. If you're using void, do the helmet. And just swap the top 2 items every time. Do your mage switch, do your range switch, do your melee switch, but just the top 2 items. It'll make that room easy as pie. I frickin' love it. It's so easy. And as long as you're wearing your ranged armor, you're not going to be having to pick up a billion darts all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, so
that room is really easy. Really fun.
I run in with my mage gear, and then I select like I use D-height or armadillo chest piece. I equip that.
Oh yeah.
And the and like the Missouri backpack, because it's transmoged, of course. That's how I run in. The only things I switch is my weapon. That's all I do.
Yeah, I just do weapon and necklace if I'm not running an Elite Void.
I used to do weapon and cape, but I was like,
Oh yeah.
maybe not. Maybe just do the weapon. Why not? And it works for me. So if
Yeah,
that's something I actually did want to say. Like there's multiple metas people can do. There's not just a one right way. People can come up with different stuff. It's really nice to hear.
Exactly,
like you do different than me, and that's funny to hear. Yeah.
And then you asked hardest part. Honestly,
what you just don't like. What? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the thing that I don't. It's not necessarily that I don't like it. I just think that it's probably the most challenging part.
You can't say Akka face, man. You can't say that.
No.
Okay, good.
If you don't have an amazing computer, and your game regularly has a bit of an input delay or lag, doing Warden's Part 2 is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I do agree. With ping, it's also pretty annoying.
Yeah, and now granted what I'm about to say it's a little bit silly that I was trying to do it on mobile, but, and I know that they're wanting to work on the mobile lag issues, so that's a good thing. But I was in a teaching raid with just some guy from, I think, True Godward's Dungeon friend chat, and I decided I'd just teach him a nice easy 50 because I was only on mobile, didn't want to turn on my computer, there was a bunch of stuff blocking it. And it took me from the beginning of the raid until right before we started doing Warden's Part 1, it took me 3 hours to type everything explaining it. After about 3 hours, we finally start Warden's Part 1, we beat Warden's Part 1, and it gets into Warden's Part 2. Now, he's brand new to it, so he doesn't really know what was going on, and that's totally fine. He ends up planking after the first down, and so I'm like, okay, I got this, no problem. My phone was running completely fine, by the way, I just want to preface that. As soon as he goes down, I'm like, okay, not a problem. I go to start doing the kill, and literally, he went down, I swapped my armor, my game lagged a bit, and I was like, oh, that's not great. I did the damage, she stood back up. I went to equip my armor set and change my prayer. As soon as I equipped my armor set and tapped on the prayer button, the whole game froze for 6 seconds.
Oh my, yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! And so, I did the best I could to heal up. The game was kind of running okay. As soon as I tapped on the prayer and then tapped on the prayer to change it, because I think it went from attacking range to attacking magic. As soon as I tapped the protect from magic's prayer, my game froze again, and it was not a fun time.
That's not convenient at all.
No, it's not. The problem is I feel like if I had have gotten to the Warden, it wouldn't have been a problem, simply because there's not as many switches you have to do, it's just moving around.
Yeah.
So, I definitely say that Warden's Part 2 is definitely the hardest part of learning Tombs of Amasket, if it's not the lightning phase of Warden's Part 4. Yeah. But, yeah, so if you don't have a great computer, what I'd say is if you still want to learn Tombs of Amasket, definitely give it a try, but try to go slow with it. Try to learn how your computer reacts to the lag, and definitely get used to using hotkeys. And by that I mean your F1, F2, F3, F4. Set them in a way that works for you. The main things you want your combat options, so where you have your special attack, your auto retaliate, and what type of attack you're doing. You want your prayers, you want your spell book, and you definitely want your inventory. Those are the main 4 that I would say to have set for hotkeys that work for you. But if you can get used to using those, it'll definitely make doing higher tier content a lot easier.
Yeah, I got my inventory on escape. F1 is my prayer because I switch prayer to like often, and my F2 is my magic because you're in like you're on ancients most likely, right? I don't know if you are, but like I'm on ancients when I'm doing TOA, and you're using the barrages a lot, but you don't always use it. And then my F3 is my special attack, but I mostly just click like the bubble, right? So yeah, that is totally fine. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
But speaking of bosses, right? What is your moneymaker right now? Like, what's your like? You don't have to go into depth if you don't want to share your super secret moneymaker. But if you have...
I'm open and I don't mind helping the public because there's a lot of people who have issues finding stuff. So
what is your top 3?
Mind. So I actually wrote 4.
Okay.
Because the last one is kind of my quote-unquote secret method to making bonds. It's what I do whenever I only have like 4 days left in an account and I want to get bonds quick.
Yep.
So my first option is flipping. Now there's a lot of things you can flip and everyone has their own things that work for them. My personal one, and this is very seasonal, is actually dragon harpoons.
Right.
Not many people flip this, but the profit margin on it is like 100k for each one, and you're only paying between 600 and $1 million, depending on when you get in it.
Yeah.
And so it's like a 10% margin for like, I think you get 5 of them per 4 hours, but if you just leave it in for a day, you can get like 20 of them. It's amazing. My next one is actually a Slayer required one, but it is Grotesque Guardians.
That's a funny one indeed. Like, people are gonna disagree, but I do see where you're going.
Yeah, so Grotesque Guardians, it doesn't have amazing drops, and the 2 money drops are insanely rare. However, its consistency at dropping high amounts of GP puts it almost equivalent to Vorkath in my opinion. And given that you have to be on task for it, you're getting 1400 experience every kill. If you have a regular gargoyle task and you don't accept the, I think it's I don't even know what the unlock is called, but basically the one that makes it so that each Grotesque Guardian kill counts as 2 Slayer kills. Yep. If you don't accept that and you get a task of like 212 regular gargoyles, you can go to the Grotesque Guardians and you can easily walk out with like over 400,000 experience. And maybe even a couple mil. When if you go to the regular gargoyles, you might get 56,000 experience. And if you're lucky with some decent drops, I'd say maybe you could walk away with like 2 mil. Like, they're not bad, but Grotesque Guardians are just so much more money and so much more consistently.
Yeah, it's also
and it's really fun. Not even a... Yeah, it's quite fun and it's not even a high skill cap to get into, so... Yeah. Sounds definitely one of my top moneymakers, I'd have to say. Moneymaker number 3, we were talking about it earlier, Tombs of Amasket. Really easy to get into. The gear requirement's less than 50 mil. You honestly only need like 20 mil to get into it pretty well. But granted, saying that means you probably have Elite Void, because Elite Void makes it a lot better. But running that can make you 100k per run, upwards to like 600k per run, and that's not even counting if you get a purple.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because the purple chest is still ridiculous small at like the early levels. That's granted, but the chest itself,
it still rewards you pretty well. And getting some of the uniques from it, like the Thread of Eladinis and the gems, A, make doing more Tombs of Amasket easier. B, make playing general RuneScape a little more efficient because of the extra slot in the rune pouch.
Yep.
And again, it gives a lot of money for if you do pretty well. So definitely give TOA a try if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun.
And you can use the blue gem outside of TOA. So if you ever have a Calify task, you can easily use it. You can actually use it on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can use it on. What's that boss again? What's I forgot the name.
Calphite Queen.
Yeah, the Calphite Queen. You can use on the Calphite Queen as well, but only the blue one. So, yeah.
1 second here.
No, that's alright.
Yeah, no, I am at 39 KC total, and I have zero gems.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I got quite a bit. Yeah. All right, and your last one then.
And my last moneymaker, and unfortunately, it is botted to high hell. But hopefully, if we get more real people doing it and more real people reporting the bots, maybe we can eradicate them. Mining rune. Now, It is a little bit of a high skill entry. It requires level 85 mining. But honestly, it took me like a month and a half from 76 to 84. And at 84, I was just using the Dragon Pickaxe to boost to mine rune for a solid like 3 minutes. And you can make a good amount of money. Like I've made I made like 4 mil in one day just mining rune, pretty AFK throughout the day.
Yep.
It is a really good money maker, very underrated. And if we can get all the bots gone and real people actually filling the area, I wouldn't even be upset with having to skip worlds because of a real person. But skipping through worlds and seeing like 5 of them empty and then coming across 6 bots is just so disheartening.
It's a pretty nostalgic one as well.
But, yeah, very true. But even with all the bots, I still make a good amount of GP in a day, and it easily pays for my bonds.
Yeah, it's because everyone needs rune. Like people are smithing all the time, and they're alching it. So.
Oh. Sorry, and the last thing I'll say is, if you do mine rune, do not sell for -5%. Sell it for even cost. You will sell it, might take a couple minutes, but you will always sell it, and as long as you sell it even cost, we won't destroy the price of it.
It's with most things. I'm gonna give you one flip that I do consistently, and you can add it to your arsenal. And that's for the people at home as well. I read this on a short, and it's actually very good. So if you have a steel bar, right? Everyone needs it. Everyone's making cannonballs. People are using it to boost their smithing very quickly. So what I do, I just buy 10k steel bars. You can do more if you want. 10k is like the max, so you have to wait for 4 hours, of course. I buy them, and if you're lucky, you can buy them for 150 GP each extra. Now that's really lucky. But it's gonna take 10 minutes in total, right? So you buy them. It could take like 3 minutes. So you buy them for you first do the flip thing, right? You buy one for cheap, see what it's like, and then sell it. No. You buy them for expensive, then you sell them for cheap and see what the margin is, right? Then you buy it for the cheapest amount that you got it, and then you sell it for the highest amount that you sold the bar. And that's gonna take up to 10 minutes. It's not gonna take long. But as long as you keep that margin, you will sell it. I've made 120k on 10k bars. And it doesn't seem like a lot. But if you consistently do that, you'll have a bond in no time.
Yeah.
So add that one to your arsenal, to whatever you flip. Because as I can hear, you like flipping. Just add that one and boom. Easy bonds. Easy money. Yeah, I like your money makers. They are definitely... I wouldn't say like unique, because people do it, but less people do it. Especially the grotesque guardians, because the most people I've heard talking about it just go for pet, just like I told you in your stream. You know, I just go for pet over there and the green lock. That's all I really care about over there. Because if I want to make money, I'd go to your next one, and that's TOA, because I love doing TOA.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very fun piece of content for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, now it's gonna be the fun zone is gonna happen right now, because well, we've been talking about a lot of money, all right. We've also lost a lot of money. I have, at least. I know for myself. I've heard you say it as well on your stream, but you know, that's up to you to tell. What is your worst scam that you've ever fell for? And it doesn't mean like the worst one where you've lost like the most money, but just like that you're like smacking your head like, I really did that? I really fell for that? Like when you were a kid and right now?
Alright, so I actually have 2 here, because I wrote down my number 1, but then I realized that I actually technically had another one that was even more embarrassing.
Do tell.
So, back when I was like 13, something like that, there were so many people who did legitimate doubling.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but there were a
there.
lot of people that did legitimate doubling. And so I got into the habit of being a young 13-year-old wanting more GP, having like nothing because I was a pleb. I'd go and I'd double like 400k, a couple hundred, like a mil. And then this one day I finally was up to like a 10 mil bank. I think I had like 11 mil at the time. And there was a guy that I regularly doubled with because he seemed trustworthy. And so I went up to him and I showed him, I put in the 11 mil and then I took it out because I was like, oh, whoops, quote unquote. And then I put in 10 mil and he logged off with my entire bank and defriended me. I was like,
yeah,
did I really just fucking fall for that?
That's how it goes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
and that felt like a lot of money to me.
So what those people do, like, back then it was a lot of money. Like, honestly, it was a lot.
It was,
like,
yeah.
What those people, of course, do, and you know this, but, you know, just to educate the people who don't know this, because we're not alone, there's people listening to us. What these people would do, they're either a bot and just spamming, right? And they will just log off with any certain amount of money, right? That's just gonna happen. Same with those bet things. Don't ever gamble, guys. Don't do that. But if you do, and you put in too much money, they're gonna log off because they're like programmed to log off with over 2 mil, for example. Or you have the real people who try to get your trust, like every common scammer. But in this way, they do it with money. Like, you're gonna give 100k, they're gonna give you 200k back. You're gonna do 500k, they're gonna give 500, and they're gonna give a mil back. And they're like, oh, this is actually very good. Now at that point, you should walk out. That's what I do. Not that I do it with double people, but people like, oh, wear this, but we'll come around there later. What these do is like, oh, you trust me now. And then you're gonna happen like, okay, let's do it. 10 mil, boom, and they log off. That's how it happens. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a sad story. And a 13-year-old boy who just sits there with no bank anymore because people are sometimes very mean, to say it like that. Yep.
All right. And now for my biggest scam. This one actually happened very recently.
Yep. And
there's a little bit of a backstory to it. So, me and this person both came from a clan called Rune Addicts. And this was about 3 years ago. Now, the owner of the clan started becoming a little bit toxic, and a lot of people started to not like it. So we all reformed into a new clan called Rune Rehab.
Right.
And so we've been together for about 2 years now, and I've become friends with a lot of the people in the clan. And one of the people, I don't want to call the guy out, but
no,
I mean,
you don't have to do that. Just, you know, that's all right.
Anyways, so this person, he was a really nice guy. He regularly did trust trades, like legitimate trust trades, where you'd kind of show him your stuff, he'd accept, and then you'd just wait around. He'd kind of check out what you had, equip a little bit of it maybe, and then he'd take it off and he'd give it back to you, and he'd maybe toss you a couple of mils like a tip. And like he did a lot of drop parties, and so on December 22nd, right before Christmas, he was like, hey, I'm actually thinking of hosting a Christmas drop party. Do you want to join? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll toss a bit in, add some Christmas spirit. So I gave him 3 mil. And then, because I actually had the guy on Snapchat, because we were in a clan for so long, and I thought him as a friend, and we'd actually snapped a while before, he was a pretty cool guy, I decided I wanted to show him what I'd gotten up to at that point in the year, because at the beginning of the year, I started at like a mil, at like 56 give or take mil, and at the end of the year, I was approaching 400 mil.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And so I got everything that I could out of my bank. The only 2 items that I couldn't trade were my Vernic Defender and my Ferocious Gloves, but I wore them to show him. And I traded him the rest of my stuff. And then he was kind of quiet for a second. I thought he was just looking at stuff. And then he logs out.
Mm.
And I'm like, what?
Here we go again.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait, there's no way. Because I traded the guy, like, I think it was 294 mil. Like, just about 300 mil. And, yeah, he logged out, and so I, like, messaged him on Snapchat, and I'm like, oh, so the rebuild begins, I guess? And then, yeah, he, like, didn't respond. I guess he blocked my Snapchat, because, like, I spam called him at least, like, 60 times, tried messaging him, nothing. Apparently, he left the clan Discord, and, like, yeah, it was not a fun time.
Yeah, I totally understand that,
Yeah, word to the less knowing, it doesn't matter how much you think you can trust a clanmate. It doesn't matter how long you've been with that clanmate. Don't trust trade your bank.
No, don't do that.
It's sad to think that someone would sell out an entire clan's friendship like that, but in this game, it happens. So
It does.
If you want like to borrow something or you want to lend something out, maybe ask for a bit of collateral. Go ahead, but don't trust trade stuff. Unfortunately, it's just gonna end in sadness.
Yep. No, I do 100% agree with you there. Like, yeah, my clan has given there's a few guys who've given me like stuff to I don't know, to run a TOA with more efficient. Like I've run in max because someone gave it to me, but he knew I wouldn't log out because, but yeah, like my bank is 1.6 bill and he gave me 3 bill, right? Literally in stuff like Torva, stuff, Ancestral, Missouri. I had a T-bow of my own, so he didn't have to give that. But he gave me all that.
Nice.
It was live on stream as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow.
Well, I wouldn't do that myself. Like I wouldn't do that. Like he's a clanmate.
Yeah, me neither. I hate people who do that.
No. And
not just because of this. Just I always have.
Yeah, like I care about my clan. Because I'm the owner. Top easy guys.
Yeah,
if you need a clan to join, get in. And the second thing is, my YouTube, my Twitch. I'll be getting called out as well. Like people are gonna see it. It's live. You're gonna see the clip of me taking it, logging out.
Exactly.
It's gonna be bad for me, and that's not the main reason, of course, that I won't do it. I'm just not an asshole, Like people work for their stuff. They trust you to, I don't know, run a PB or something, which I did. Don't scam him, man. Don't log out. Even though it's not a scam, he literally gave it to me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, but we've had scammers now. I think we need to cheer everything up again. Let's talk about nostalgia. What is your favorite thing that you've done when you were a kid? Like we both are very old players in this game, and when we were 7, we probably did stuff that we don't completely remember. Like it could be cutting a willow tree. What gives you that feeling when you're playing RuneScape?
So I'm gonna start this by saying my first ever account was actually mostly done by my dad, and he basically just got me to like randomly chop trees or randomly mine stuff, just to give a little bit of XP.
You use you as a human bot. I see.
Yeah, basically. And so
it all comes together now.
Yeah, my biggest nostalgia for this game is just generally leveling up and working on an account.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be just working on some achievement diaries. It might be like going and chopping a tree, or going and like going in barbarian fishing, like things like that. It's just, I guess, a lot of the skilling aspects of this game just give me a lot of nostalgia, and honestly, it's probably what keeps me playing the game a lot. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just how basic, but kind of self-fulfilling the game feels, if that makes sense.
Yes, no, it definitely does. Definitely does. So, like, when you talk about nostalgia, this is a little bit off RuneScape, but I used to play Diablo 2 with my dad, right? And I remember this one specific night that I would just I was like sitting upstairs with like this big ass PC because like the screen was massive back then.
Yeah.
and you know, just a PC that could literally run Diablo 2. And my dad had it when he was like a kid, because Diablo 2 obviously is a lot older than, well, it's the same age as us basically. So I didn't play it when it came out. So I played it with my dad, and I remember correctly, like we were in Act 2 fighting some things in like the Rocky Waste, as it's called. And then my dad messaged me asking if I wanted strawberries, because my mom went to the market to get it. I don't know why I remember it, but I just do.
And whenever memory, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like that's one of the feeling. And when it comes to RuneScape, I remember getting online. Well, we didn't really have calls, right? We used to have like TeamSpeak and all that stuff, and Skype even. But we used to like properly LAN RuneScape, if that makes sense. Like obviously you're not LANing RuneScape.
Yeah.
We would just go together, get our systems. And just, well, systems, it's not that big, but just laptops and all that stuff.
Yeah, you guys were just chilling with each other, playing your games.
Yeah, we were playing RuneScape. Like 6 of us in one room, fishing, you know? And then one would go and chop wood, and one would smith, and one would, like, we all would have our own tasks. And that's my nostalgic RuneScape memory. Also playing with my brothers. I have, for the people outside, you don't know that either, but for the people at home, I have 3 brothers. I used to play RuneScape with 2 of them, because my youngest brother, he just gets the age that he, you know, plays games and stuff. But I used to play with my brother, with my 2 brothers, and we would stay up all night playing RuneScape.
Nice.
Everyone knows that feeling, right? It's Sunday, you're sitting inside, it's raining, you don't have homework, you have a Mountain Dew, right? That's the story, right?
Yeah.
That's the typical nostalgic. Well, I didn't drink Mountain Dew. I don't know what I drank. I just played RuneScape, and that's a little bit of mine. I love nostalgia.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in this world, you just gotta remember the good stuff, and this is it. RuneScape is a big thing in my life. It still is. Yeah.
Always has been for me.
Yeah. No, it's like when you're down, you just get online and you talk with a bunch of people. So before this, I was part of a different clan. Not actually a founding member, but I was one of the first. The clan was called House of 340.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's a big clan now. It's like 500 people, 3 years old. It has amazing people in there as well. And we just used to chat all night, and that reminded me of my childhood doing the same thing. So you know that's when the nostalgia came back. But at some point, you just gotta move on, because you know I'm a creator just like you, and having your own clan, it's beneficial, right? Because it's a very nice way of connecting with other streamers. Because I got some other creators in the clan as well. We're a clan of 143 people right now. So that's quite nice, you know, and you can create that same safe space. That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah,
100%.
That's the nostalgia for me. I don't know if you have anything to add on it.
I guess I'll just say my kind of second most nostalgic thing, and this isn't nostalgia within the game. This is just something that us talking about this kind of brought back, so I guess nostalgia in that way. When I was 13, I think. Yeah, grade 7. My best friend at the time, he was actually from England, but his family moved over to Canada, where I am. And I ended up going over to his house a fair amount, and it turned out that he played RuneScape because his older brother played RuneScape a lot. And I remember this one memory where his brother showed me his bank, and I was amazed, because this was like before they did the evolution to combat, and then before they made party hats like basically completely worthless.
The guy had useful.
Yeah, he had a red party hat, a blue party hat. He had like 3 black party hats, and the guy had like, I think it was about 2 million of each type of dart just sitting in his Grand Exchange being flipped, and I was like, I want to be this guy. Like, this man is loaded. I just smashed my knee into my desk.
Oh, that's not a
pain.
nice. That's not a nice feeling. Yeah, I remember like one guy in my neighborhood, his dad was stepdad, really. He was wearing dragon armor, right? Like a dragon chain skirt and all that. And that was very expensive back in the day. Because he was like, yeah, I'm doing Slayer and I'm doing Kingdom, you know, and I was like, Kingdom? What are you talking about? About Kingdom all the time? Like, this is Falador, right? That's a kingdom. What are you doing over there?
Yeah.
No. He's talking about Kingdom of Miscellanea, which was actually very, very profitable back in the day. Now it's not so much.
Though.
Now it's for Iron Man mostly. And
yeah, pretty much. I haven't been there in like a year.
Yeah, it's just I haven't been there either. I have 0%. I don't help the people over there. Like they can pay themselves. But yeah, I get that feeling like I want to be this guy, you know. And yeah, it was great. Yeah. Okay, nice. So before we continue to the last segment, which will be your moment, we're gonna do a little trivia.
Ooh.
For everyone at home. This you can play along, right? If you look it up, you look it up. But let me know
play
in the
along,
comments.
just don't do better than me.
Let me know in the comments how many questions you knew. If you decide to put like a fake answer, be my guest, because you don't win anything from it. But the contestants will actually win something. They will win eternal glory, and then I mean literally a glory amulet, but eternal. Because I found it very fitting with the name as well. Because everyone like, oh, what do I win then? Yeah, you win eternal glory. Well, guess what? We have eternal glory in RuneScape. So
it happens to work.
that's the story behind it. So let me know how many questions you had correct. How it's gonna look. We have 10 questions. 4 of them will be rather easy. 3 will be medium. 2 will be hard, and then there's 1 elite question. And I think some people will guess it. Maybe you will as well. I don't know. We're about to find out.
I don't know, but I'm ready.
Let's go for the first one. So, the man in Lumbridge that you ask your age, what is his name?
Hans.
Correct. What is the most XP you can get in a skill?
200 million.
Let's go. What do you need for Cook's Assistant?
An egg, a bucket of milk, a pot of flour, and a bucket of water.
No! You don't need to say water. Egg, flour,
you have
milk.
to mix the flour.
No, you don't have to do that.
Oh shit, no, because you just handed it to him. Fuck!
Yeah.
I thought I was making a cake. Damn it!
Alright. So,
Right.
to which race does Doric belong? This is a multiple question.
Oh.
So, Goblin, Dwarves,
Dwarves.
or Relica? Alright, there you go. Medium questions. This will be a multiple choice. Who rules Varrock? Brunt the Chieftain, King Rold, or the King Black Dragon?
Sorry, what was the question? I misheard it.
That's okay. Who rules Varrock?
King Roland.
Okay, you got it. Yeah. Who sails you to Corandor Isle? Ned, Fred, or Elvarg?
Ned.
Correct. What color party hat does the wise old man have?
Blue?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh,
I heard a little bit of hesitation there.
I was like, wait.
Wait a minute. Yeah, man, you got it correct. Alright, there's all the mediums done, so you have 1 mistake. So far, you've got the rest. Hard questions.
So...
Name all Godforce dungeons bosses. And you can use like a short term for them as well, but don't go with, oh, he's called Bandos, because that's not the name.
Oh, okay. General Gardor, Kriara,
Yes.
the Commander Ziliana, and oh, what's his name? I don't ever do this one.
There's 2 more.
Krill Sutsaroth and Nex.
Yes, correct. Well done. What quest is required to complete a regicide?
All of them?
No. There's one specific one that everyone hates.
Underground Pass.
Yes, there you go. That's 1 mistake you've had so far, and that's from the easy one.
In
That's
the
actually very
easiest
good.
section.
Alright, elite question.
Alright.
What city...
Don't give me a challenge.
What city is Varrock built upon?
Oh shit! Wait. Fuck! Come on, this is from Dig Site. I should know this.
You're very close.
No, I think that's Canfest. Shit. Okay, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but is it the ancient city of Senesian?
Yeah, that's it. Correct. Well
Holy
done.
shit! No way.
Yes, it is because the teleport's
Oh
over
my
there.
god, I got that right.
Well done. Well done.
How did I get all of the hard ones right, but I got fucking Cook's assistant wrong?
Yeah,
Bruh.
that's gotta be a meme now.
Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's hilarious.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Well, you've done that. So okay. So here's the thing. If there's multiple if like 9, like you're on top right now for at least a week.
Sounds good.
If there's people who have if everyone has 9 questions correct, yeah, we have to do an extra few later on for the eternal glory.
Sure.
But we'll see that later. Like we don't know. Maybe some people will not get 9. Maybe everyone will get 8, and then you win. But for now, you're up first.
Woo-hoo!
So before all this, what do you think about this chat? How did you enjoy it or not?
I had a lot of fun. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you so much for allowing me on the show.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah, right now I'm gonna give you a moment to talk about your content. So yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Sounds good. I am Bizzare Cad. Hello. I am a variety streamer on Twitch, although I mostly play RuneScape. The other games I play are Brawlhalla, a little bit of Osu, but I more so use that as a little bit of practice before my harder games. A little bit of Blankos Block Party, although I'm wanting to play that one a little bit more. And I've been trying to get into the Tales of Symphonia series, including Tales of Berseria and Tales of Zestiria. But I'm waiting till I have a bit more of a viewer base before I do that, just because it feels like a game that's just a bit more fun when there's more people watching and I can get some opinions for that. So, yeah, I've been doing this for about 3 years. I haven't made it big, but that's alright. I'm just doing it to provide content for people anyways, so feel free to come by my stream at twitch.tv/BizarreCad, or feel free to follow my YouTube or subscribe to my YouTube, albeit I haven't uploaded anything yet because I'm waiting till I actually have good content to upload. But youtube.com/@BizarreCad545. Don't know why the 545 is there, it just kind of forced it upon me, so.
Links will be in the description, of course, guys. So just
perfect.
Click the links.
There we go.
He's maybe going to comment on the YouTube video as well, so you can click on that name as well. So yeah, that's Bizzare Cad, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you have any tips for me, and this is for me personally, about the podcast, let me know, because this is the first time I'm hosting a podcast. I hope I've done a good job, and if you're interested, like I said in the earlier segments of the video, if you're interested to be on one, make sure to let me know in either the email or comment down below. You can always PM me in RuneScape, lionlad's my name. Yeah, that being said, if you did enjoy, make sure to like the video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next podcast.